So, okay, we have our login taken care of. We have our state managed. We're set up for success. Now it's time we start filling out this home page. The first thing we're going to do is add a drawer. We're going to move this icon up here, and when we click it, it opens up from the side. Twitter has something just like this. You saw that icon, you click it, it opens up like this, and we want to have the same thing. Before we do that, we use this ref.watch user multiple times. So instead of using it, typing all that out multiple times, we're going to define the current user to be this. And that is actually the Firebase user. We'll take the local user so we have access to both their ID. And down here we can define current user.user.email. And I'll replace this long string with current user instead. All right, next we need to move this icon into the top of the app bar. So we can remove it from our column here. Go to our app bar and define a leading widget. Save it, and there it is. Now it seems a little too big, it's too tight around the edges, so we can add some padding just to give it a little bit more space. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Next, we need to make it clickable, because if it doesn't click, then it's just there for no reason. We're going to take the padding and wrap it in a widget called a gesture detector. This gesture detector widget gives you different gestures you can act on. One specific one is on tap. So whenever we tap it, we want that drawer to open. To do that, we use scaffold of this context and open drawer. Okay, now we save it, we click it, we get an error. So this error we actually discussed before. We call it scaffold.of with a context that does not contain a scaffold. The problem here is very similar to that snack bar problem that I described before. This context is the context for our consumer widget. So it's the context here. It's not the context of the scaffold. So using this, we're looking above the scaffold to see whether there is a drawer. And that doesn't work. So like the same solution like we used to have to do with snack bar, not anymore. We wrap it in a builder. And now we can save it, and we click it. Still nothing happens. And that's because we haven't actually defined a drawer yet. So a scaffold has a drawer widget that we could add here. And that's what this open drawer actually does. So after our body, we're going to define a drawer. For now, we'll just put a text of hello. Now, if we save it, we're able to click it, and we get this opening up. See, there's a hello at the very top that you can't really see. Well, that's okay, because we don't just want a hello text. What we do want instead is a column. The first thing we're going to add in the column is an image that we get from the network. Our source for it is the current user profile picture. And that's what it looks like. Not too pretty, but that's fine. And actually from the same website, you can make an image bigger. So I took this avatar image, made it a little bit bigger, changed in our database the link to that default image. And now when we go into this, it looks a lot nicer. Now maybe we'd probably want like a more default image rather than some random guy, but that's not as important. So next we're going to add a list tile with a title that says hello. And then current user.name. Let's give it a bit of style to make it a little bit prettier. Give it some font weight, make it bold. And give it a font size of 18. And I put that into the list tile instead of inside the actual text. Okay, so there we go. Now it says no name. We'll be updating this name later. Next big thing, and the place where we will be updating it, is the settings page. So let's create another list tile here with a title that says settings. And we're going to do an on tap, where whenever you press this settings, we go navigate to our settings screen. We have to put a material page route. And we're going to take it to a settings page, which is not defined yet, so we get an error. Let's actually go define it real quick so everything looks nice and it's working. I'm going to call this settings.dart. It's going to be a stateless widget for now. I'm going to call it settings. Add a scaffold in here and an app bar that says that we are in the settings page. And now we should be able to import our settings page into here. Okay, perfect. Now we click on it. It takes us to settings. We click back, we still see the drawer. So first we need to navigator.pop the drawer out of our context and then push. We save it, that closes, settings opens. We go back, we go right to the home page. Perfect. And the last part is going to be very similar to this one, but instead of going to any page or doing anything, we're going to let the user sign out here. We save that, and then we can take these two functions, remove them, and then remove this, clean up our app bar a little bit, make it more stealthy. And instead of navigating, we're going to paste our logout logic there. Sign. I need sign out. Okay, so that's our drawer. We're able to go to our settings page, where in the next lesson we're going to be updating our names to make sure it doesn't say no name anymore. And we're able to sign out as well. So there we go. Part of our homepage is looking a little bit better and a little bit more functional. Now let's get to actually updating the username.